So here's a thought. Yesterday, well, actually a couple days ago now, because I'm pre-recording this video. Yesterday, a couple days ago, whatever you want to call it, right? If you know who Braden Fisher is, Braden Fisher is a pitcher on the Toronto Blue Jays. He missed the last couple of games because we didn't know why. He was just kind of taken off the team sheet for a little bit. He went back somewhere with his family, and we just found out that he lost his father. His father died from a stroke. And that was like, whoa. Like and then a couple days later he was able to come out in a press conference. He was talking about it all openly and honestly. And the situation that happened was they were just driving, and in the car he just fell, right? He just had a stroke, and then they took him to the hospital and they couldn't bring him back. So this was like a whoa moment. Like they didn't get in a car crash. There wasn't some like crazy situation that happened. Nah, he was just sitting there and his body just failed him. His body just failed him at a random moment, and he's gone and he's no longer with us. And that makes me think that can happen to any one of us. He was a little bit on the older side, sure, but it can happen to any one of us at any time. A lot of it is all circumstantial, right? At any point, you're at risk of a heart attack, of a stroke, of some sort of a thing, some sort of like brain problem, or you're like heart failure or something like that, where it just causes you to die. At any point, you can get cancer. At any point, right? Cancer. If you don't know what cancer is just when your cells replicate, because as in your life, your cells to stay alive will replicate, so they'll kind of get smaller and smaller over time. Is when cells that are too small to replicate their DNA just keep replicating, right? And then it causes a tumor, and then it starts to replicate too fast. It can be anywhere, at any time, and you have no control over it, right? You have some control because, on average, if you eat healthy, you exercise, you sleep well, you do those kinds of things, you'll increase the chances that you'll live a longer life. But at any point, it can happen, and that there's just a level of control that you don't have over these things. So it makes me think, of course, this is the type of thing that I think about often. It's like, if you know that at any point this life can just end like that, with a snap of a finger, and there's nothing you can do about it, and there's nothing like that changes. It's not your fault. Nothing happened. It was just circumstantial, right? You meet God and you didn't even realize, right? What are you doing continuing to be exactly where you are? What are you doing continuing to waste the time that you have been given on this earth? What are you doing continuing to just meander along la-di-da-di-da, being mediocre with your time, being stuck in the exact position that you're being in, not making any changes to moving forward? What are you doing, right? Like, you think about all the people that just waste their time. And at times, I'm guilty of it too. And this is something that I truly have to hear as well, which is why I'm talking about it. Because oftentimes on this show, I've been known to talk about things that I also need to hear and I also need to improve at. But the World Cup, for example, it's made me think about Diogo Jota, right? The situation that happened there where he's just gone, right? He's just left because of a situation that was more of a situational thing, right? Like, he was in Spain and he was in his Lambo and he was speeding on the highway, and it was more of a situational thing that could have been avoided, whereas this other thing, it's like it's just something you can't control at all. But still, it makes you think about, he was like in his 20s, right? He was late 20s, maybe early 30s, and and just like that, with the snap of a finger, his brother, gone. Never to be back, right? Never to come back, right? So you just have to think about the fact that he's no longer with us. And it's like, well, how many more of these crazy freak accidents and stories do you need to have to realize, oh, at any point this can happen to you. You can be that person. And then it makes me think, if it's like, if I were to die right now, like if I were to not wake up tomorrow morning, my life would be a failure. I wouldn't have made it to where I wanted to go, and I would have continued to just be meandering along in many aspects of my life, and I would have failed, truly. It, like, genuinely, like, from a logistical perspective. And for a lot of people, it's the same. If they were to die tomorrow, their lives would not be anything spectacular. So my kind of plea to you is, knowing that your life is short, knowing that any moment it can be cut short, and even if it isn't cut short, it's still a very short time. What are you doing? Continue to waste it on social media, on scrolling, on bad habits, whatever those bad habits may be, whatever the vices may be. What are you doing continuing to be fearful, continuing to be isolated, continue to be stuck in your house, continue to waste time, continue to eat like garbage, continuing to just sit around all day, being lazy, continuing to not put any effort in. What, like, truly, like, what are you doing, right? It is really just like a wake-up call, this episode, and really every time you see a story like that. Charlie Kirk was another one of those stories. It's like, at any point, obviously it was a different situation, he was shot, but at any point, something can happen that you have no control over, that you would have never thought to have happened, that can just cut your life unreasonably short. So, when you die, you can die tomorrow. So why the hell are you here continuing to waste the time you've been blessed with? God has blessed us with time. And that's the one gift that you have that you can control, is what you decide to do with the time you've been given. You're just going to waste that time, and then you blink and you're 30, you blink and 10 years goes by and you realize, oh, what the hell happened with my life? Or are you going to finally wake the hell up and get going with what you need to do? You need to ask yourself this question, truly, because in my life, I can tell you about my own personal experiences, because obviously this is my show. This is what I have to draw on. In my life, I need to do better. I need to work harder. That's the truth. I don't do that. I fall victim to many sins, many vices. I have problems that I fall into. And yesterday, for example, well, again, pre-recorded video, but a couple days ago, I really fell short. I fell short. I just basically wasted an entire day where I basically did nothing of use. Where I recorded a short podcast episode and then I edited it, posted it, and then did pretty much nothing else for the rest of the day. And it's like, what am I doing? How is that ever going to be the case? Like, unless you're sick or unless you have a big injury and you have to do nothing, why are you just out there choosing out of your own free will to do nothing with your time? To just sit there and just dopamine, but nothing that's actually fruitful. Nothing that's actually going to move you in a better direction. Nothing that is actually formidable in any way, working hard in any way. You're not doing any of that. So it's like, you just ask the question, like, what are you doing? You're just going on, meandering along, and before you know it, like, do you need to have some terrible thing happen to you or someone around you for you to wake up and finally, wake up and smell the roses and actually get moving in your life? Do you need that to happen? Or can you just finally make the decision to move forward in a better way? Like what do you need, right? What do you need to actually improve your life, right? And I go through my life, and I ask myself these questions, and I give this harsh stuff and this harsh talk to myself in the mirror, because I realize where I fall short. But there are probably many people, and maybe you watching, you fall shorter than I do. Because I'm lucky that I have the faith. I'm lucky that I made the choice a while ago to give my life to Jesus and pursue God and pursue faith in that way, because that has helped me maybe to overcome some other things that maybe a lot more other people are deeper into, a lot of other vices and problems that people are deeper into, because at least I have that foundation and that faith which kind of I build off of. And even when I sin and fall short, I recognize that Jesus is still there for me. Whereas other people that don't have that, it's very easy to just fall further and further down the rabbit hole of sin and of temptation and of vices and of just wasting that time you've been blessed with, whatever it may look like. Sloth as a sin, I've talked about it when I went through the 7 deadly sins like a little over a month ago. Sloth as a sin is the most kind of sneaky sin because it's the hardest to kind of define. It's the only sin where you sin by not doing something, whereas everything else is an action that you do or a feeling that you feel that is evil. Sloth is something that's harder to define, and it's harder to actually realize. You can fall into it and not even realize it. But it takes moments like this, moments where you actually realize just how short life is, and at any moment your body can fail you, and there's no control you have over it at all. So what are you doing? Continuing to waste time. What are you doing? Continue to be on your ass, right? Get up and do the things you need to do. Right? And get up and make a name for yourself in this life. Because if you die tomorrow, where will you be? Right? Where will you be when you die tomorrow? If you were to die tomorrow, is your life a success or is it a failure? Right? And I look at myself, personally, truly, from an unbiased perspective, my life's a failure if I died tomorrow. Truly. I still have a lot of time to go and make amends, but maybe you don't have that time. So you got to take it one day at a time. You got to win the day before you focus on what happens 10 years from now. You got to win the day. You got to not fall victim to the vices and the sins on the day. You got to do difficult things that you don't want to do and overcome difficulties and strife in a day. in one day before you focus on what you're going to do during the week, what you're going to do during the month, what you're going to do during the year. This is an idea that's been in my head, but I've been falling short. So that's why I think I need to talk about this, because I'm sure there are people falling even farther short than I am of when it comes to actually just working hard and when it comes to actually living life and enjoying it and actually making the most of your time. It's a tough situation because there are many things in modern society that are designed to keep us hooked on the dopamine instead of actually on things that are more meaningful for us in our lives. But you need to fight it. You need to fight it. You need to put your phone away. You need to put the screens away. You need to go and work in the way that you need to work and overcome those temptations. Because before you know, you're going to blink and your life's been wasted. And you're going to be on your deathbed, you're going to have all these regrets, right? Or you might not even have that privilege to be on your deathbed. You might just be gone, just like that. So what's going to happen, right? Maybe you go to heaven, but you'll also be sitting there with the regret that you'll realize, oh, I had this life. It was cut short, but what did I do in that time that was cut short? Nothing spectacular. And I think that's probably one of the biggest regrets that people have, is just by wasting a lot of their time, right? You're never going to be on your deathbed and you're never going to be there being like, oh, I wish I scrolled more. I wish I watched more porn. I wish I watched more YouTube. I wish I played more video games. I wish I spent more time alone. You're never going to be on your deathbed thinking those things, right? I wish I smoked more. I wish I did more drugs, right? I wish I did harder drugs, right? You're never going to be on your deathbed thinking of those things, right? You're never going to be. You're going to be on your deathbed and you're going to be, if you have the privilege to have a deathbed, first and foremost. But if you do have that privilege, you're going to be on your deathbed and you're going to be thinking, I wish I didn't do as many of those things. I wish I spent more time with people. I wish I worked a little harder. And something along those lines. So rather than wasting the time and making the mistake of just cruising through life, take control now. Take action now. Do things now that you can do that will move you in a better direction. So at least if you have the privilege to have the moment on your deathbed, you can realize, okay, I managed to see the mistakes I made and made a better life out of it. That's only if you have the privilege, because of course the thing I started this episode with is the fact that not everyone has that privilege at any point in whatever moment. Your life can just be cut short and it's super quick. And then you realize, it takes that to realize that you're not doing enough right now in this moment in your life. So just ask yourself the question, right? What is it going to take, right? How long will it take before you finally wake up and start to take action and start to realize that you need to improve, that you need to make significant change? How long is it going to take? How long is it going to take? What needs to happen for it to happen? Do you have to wait for something terrible to happen to you to wake up? Or can you look at other things that are happening to other people and take the lessons from it and let that move you forward in a better direction? Let that drive you. Ask yourself those questions, man, because this life is incredibly short. Even if you manage to live till 80, it's still a short time, and before you know it, you'll get there, right? And given all the things happening in the world, most of us might not even live to get to that time anyway. So focus on winning the day and doing what you can to make this life as good as possible right now. So go out there and take the action, right? That is the message of this video. Take action. Improve in ways that you know you need to improve, and truly seize control. Take control and seize the momentum that you have in your life. Thank you for watching this episode. That's all I gotta say. This was me just kind of ranting. And if you didn't notice already, I'm ranting about these things because I myself need to hear this as well for my own sanity and for my own improvement purposes. So I hope that you take some lessons from this as well, and I hope that you take some action and you stop sitting on your ass and you get moving as well in your life as well. But for myself, that's something very important to me as well. So that's all I gotta say for today. I've kind of let it out. I'm already feeling a little bit drained because I've really just poured everything out today in a little bit of anger, but I've just kind of let it out. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. I hope you take that action to improve in your life, to get up off your butt, as I've already said. I'm just repeating myself now, which tells you that, yes, this episode, it's time to call it. It's time to call it a day. It's time to wrap it up. So like the video, subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify. If you enjoy this episode, show your support on the show in any way that you can. We are really approaching the back end of the 365 days, So I really do appreciate it if you are watching this one, if you're still here for this one. And I would appreciate if you go watch some of the other great episodes I've made on this show already. I'm going to keep trying my best to make better content going forward in the future. So thank you for watching this episode. That is all I got to say for today. Continue to glorify God every day throughout your life, and get up and put more effort in your days every day. That's all I got to say for today. Thank you for watching this episode, and as always, I'll see you tomorrow for the next one.